What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Entertainment Channel. I'm here with another video, and as you could probably guess it, I'm going to be talking about the Chicago Cubs, guys. So the Cubs, if you're not paying attention, they're already off to a hot start. But before we even get there, I need you guys to be like the Chicago Cubs offense. Get up like Kyle Tucker, smash that subscription button, smash that like button. We got to help grow the Ant Farm as we're steadily climbing 110 subscribers right now. But like I said, I got to talk about the Chicago Cubs. They're right now first in the NL Central, so we're going to tap into that, how crazy the offense has been. There's some stats that I just checked out on ESPN that just kind of highlight how hot the Cubs offense has been throughout the last 12 games were the stats. But then even last night's game where they won 7-0 against the Texas Rangers. And then something a little bit not as good, not on the bright side, not positive. The Kyle Tucker contract extension talks not looking good, y'all. I mean, there's a quote that came out from him after being asked about the Vladimir Guerrero contract extension, the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. contract extension, which was at somewhere around $400 million. But Kyle Tucker, they asked him about it, and his response, I didn't like it. I don't think you're going to like it. But let's just get into it, y'all. So like I mentioned, the Chicago Cubs, they're first in the NL Central. They're 8-5 now to start the season. So let's not get crazy. It's still early, only 13 games in. But they're now 8-5 to start the year. They currently have a plus 28 run differential, which is #1 in the National League and actually #1 in the entire MLB. They swept the A's last week, 3-0. They won 2 out of 3 against San Diego, and they should have swept them, but they blew a pretty big lead in Game 3, which I was at, and ended up losing 8-7. And most recent, they opened the series last night against the Texas Rangers with a 7-0 win. Justin Steele is now 3-1, and he's won 3 straight since the Cubs got back from Tokyo. So I'm excited for how the Cubs are looking so far. Offense is looking good. Pitching is looking good. We're only 13 games in, like I said. Baseball, we got a long season ahead, 162 games. So we still have 149 more games to go, and there's another game tonight. But things are looking promising. I mean, all over the place, the different people are hitting. The people that we expected and need to hit the ball are doing that, exactly what they need. Like Kyle Tucker, like Seiya Suzuki, like even Nico Horner stepping up. Maybe Ian Happ, one of our slower starts out of anybody that we're expecting things out of. But they're looking really good. And just real quick for tonight, they're gonna have Jameson Taillon going up against Patrick Corbin. So for us, Taillon's 1-1, 6.97 ERA. So not too much of a sample size, but did get rocked a little bit out there based on that. And for Patrick Corbin, he's making his Rangers debut. So we'll see what happens with the Cubbies. They're off to a hot start, man. Offense has been clicking on all cylinders. And let's just take a real quick look at yesterday's game so we could take a look at some of that offense, because they're looking exciting, man. It's probably the first time in a couple of years where I'm actually excited to watch the Cubs game, where I actually today, guys, I hate to say it, I was thinking about folding and getting the Marquee Network. So if you don't already know, and if you're a Cubs fan, you know this. Maybe this is for those that aren't really in tune or more casual fans, but Marquee, the Cubs have their own channel. In order to watch them, you got to have, like, I think DirecTV Stream, or you got to just have the Marquee app. And I have neither. I have YouTube TV, which they don't have a deal with. And I haven't wanted to pay for the Marquee app because it's like $20. I'm like, bro, Cubs are already making so much money being cheap. I don't want to deal with that. But here's a little bit. Damn, look at these stats, though. Going crazy. Kyle Tucker. Sucks what he said about the contract extension. But let's take a real quick look here at the score from yesterday. Let's stay on task. Hard for me, y'all. I got that ADHD got me bouncing around. I'm like, I got to focus. So taking a look at yesterday, man, 7-0. And Cubs were pretty much in the lead all game. You see that Steele, 7 innings, he only gave up 3 hits, so he was balling. They really blew the game open in the 6th inning, like you could see right here. So on ESPN, they kind of have like the key moments. I'm trying to see if they got that on here. I think they do. The recap. So you see here the key moment basically for the whole game. Cubs had runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs in the 6th. Happ broke open the game with a 2-run single on Gerson Garabito. And then he stole 2nd, scored on Kyle Tucker's single. Tucker took 2nd on the throw home and came around on Seiya Suzuki's single. So Cubs really blew it open in the 6th, and you could tell that you're just looking at the box score here. They were up 3. But the night before, when they played, or the day before San Diego game, it was freezing. I was up in 400 sections. Don't ask. But I was up there, had a good time. But we were up in the 400 sections. Cubs were up 7-3, end up losing that game of San Diego. Justin Tucker, first base, ends up dropping the ball, gets past them, and Fernando Tatis scored. But Cubs were up yesterday 3-0. They put up 4 in the 6th, end up going up 7-0 and winning the game that way. And you see everybody's kind of, doing their thing out there yesterday. Happ had 3 RBIs. Tucker had an RBI. Suzuki had an RBI. Bush had an RBI. And Amaya, who's been stroking this season, but killing it out there, averaging what? It says 300 at home. We don't need the at home. We need everything. 296 with 8 RBIs is, pretty crazy for our catcher that maybe a lot of people weren't expecting that. I did see some stuff about how he worked on his swing, changed something, which you had to do that in baseball, man. Baseball, sometimes when your swing gets wrong, you got to get back into it. But Cubs with a pretty dominant win yesterday. And let's see. These are something else they talked about for yesterday's game. So not necessarily game related, but it was freezing. So Sunday was cold. Yesterday was even colder. So I think they have it in here too. Got to go back from Amaya's page. It was freezing though, y'all. I was no sun up in the 400 section if you ever sit up there. And I was with my wife, her family, or my family, obviously my in-laws, and a big group, like 15 of us. That was the easiest place to find some seats. But it was freezing up there, guys. And I grew up here. I've been to a million games in the beginning of the year. Always cold. Family that we had in from Mexico and California, they were freezing up there, guys. So if you've been to Wrigley, one of these early games, drop a comment. Let me know. It's freezing there. You can't deny it. Maybe the bleachers is where it stays warm. But, yeah, you see here, like, this is yesterday. This is insane. 34-degree game time temperature was the coldest at Wrigley since April 18, 2011. So in 14 years. And that day it was 34 degrees for the first pitch against San Diego. Or yesterday, on Sunday. So by comparison, it was 38 when the Blackhawks played the St. Louis Blues in the Winter Classic on New Year's Eve. And for the Rangers, that was the lowest game temperature, was 33 for them at Milwaukee on April 10th since 1989, before I was even alive, an entire lifetime ago. So it's freezing right now in Chicago. So Cubs, I feel bad for you guys. Not really, because you guys make millions of dollars, but you guys will live with it. But it's cold out there, man. Playing baseball right now, not ideal. It's got to hurt. Wooden bat. But the Cubs offense, going right through that, man. 7 yesterday when it was freezing. They had 7 the day before when it was freezing. So Cubs bats, it might be cold outside, but those Cubs bats are on fire right now. And Kyle Tucker is definitely the main guy behind that. And that's a perfect segue. Feels like I've been doing this for years. Perfect segue into what I want to talk about next. Kyle Tucker, man, he's just been on an absolute tear. If you haven't already seen, this dude's stats are crazy right now. Everything, the hype that was about him coming to Chicago, whatever. We don't want to talk about the contract extension just yet. We'll do that in a minute or two. But the hype as far as hitting the ball, doing what he needs to do for us offensively, dude is living up to it at least 13 games into the season. So you see it right here, man. This is Kyle Tucker for us, leading the team in batting average, leading the team in home runs, leading the team in RBIs, leading the team in on-base plus slugging percentage. Or wait, is it just on-base percentage? OBP? You down with OBP? Yeah. So Kyle Tucker leading us in everything, man. We got, like, you see it right here. Hits, on-base percentage, RBIs, home runs, batting average. Kyle Tucker is living up to the hype. Whether he's going to get the contract extension that we want or we're going to be able to re-sign him, that's a whole nother story. But right now he's living up to what we need him to be, and that's why the Cubs offense is looking crazy right now, and he's absolutely doing what we thought Kyle Tucker would do. And you're in Chicago, lefty, nice swing up there. Dude is going to be able to rake here at Wrigley, and the rest of the offense is moving around him. Things are looking really good. Kyle Tucker living it up, man. You take a look here, some of his other stats. So Kyle Tucker right now, entering Monday, Tucker was leading all of baseball in why did they write it? I copy and pasted something. Probably the goofiest thing I read. That's why make sure you proofread, guys. That's important. I'll write that down for next time. But entering Monday, Tucker was leading all of baseball and obviously the National League in home runs, RBI. Hold on. This is backwards. What are they thinking? Let's just go to MLB and we'll look at it right now. Not home runs. Yeah, see, it changed already. Wait, what? I didn't change the. Let's see, team. No, we don't want to see team. We want to see players. What was he thinking? This is how you just get confused here, y'all. So yeah, going into Monday, Tucker was leading all of baseball in leading the National League in hits. That's why I'd say they put his. So going into Monday, Tucker was leading all of baseball in hits, leading the National League in home runs, RBI, OPS, and total bases. He's hitting 319. He has an on-base percentage of 458, and he's slugging 745 with 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, and 13 games in. It's crazy to say, but MVP-like numbers. And he won NL Player of the Week last week, so you don't have to really look far to get into why he's killing for us while I don't have the stats here on the board. But Kyle raking, y'all. Take a look here. Why is it? I hate that it does this. But for the season right now, show where's where we at. Takes you just in a giant circle. So, I mean, you could see for us, he's doing everything. Kyle Tucker leading us in batting average, home runs, RBIs, on-base percentage, hits. And the whole offense, though, is looking, I mean, pretty good to me. And we could talk about it now. I mean, you're looking at everybody on the offensive side. And it's kind of like exactly what you want on the baseball field. I don't know how else to say that, or in the box. But everybody's kind of playing their part. And that's a big thing to me on this Chicago team is that a lot of the teams that we've had these last couple years, and even after we won the World Series, it was a lot of guys just trying to, hit bombs, not really playing that team fundamental baseball, kind of that late 2010s type of baseball was all about like launch angle and getting the ball up in the air. I think baseball right now making a little bit of a comeback on, getting the ball into the field, putting the ball into play, some sacrifice bunts. You got to take advantage. And obviously a lot of that had to do with the shifts and all of that used to go down that they're no longer allowing, which I'm so happy they don't do that. The pitch clock is in. But this team is actually built like a team. We have everybody that's batting in a position that actually puts them somewhere where they want to do what's good on their skill set. Ian Happ gets on base a lot, takes a lot of pitches. He's been leading off for us. Kyle Tucker, obviously hitting the crap out of the ball, batting in the middle of the lineup. And people like PCA right now. So PCA, fresh up on the team in terms of his first full season now. And dude is, I think living up to a lot of the hype that we're all putting on him besides his batting average. But once he does get on base, this dude's been killing. What does he got? I'm excited for the team though, guys. Let's just put it that way. Everybody is playing their role. And I think in a baseball team, that's what you need. That's what always wins. We can't all be the Dodgers. We can't all be the Yankees. Even though we have the money to do it, we can't necessarily rely on that to carry us and, just have those big names. We've been there before with the Rizzos, the Bryants, the Baezes, the Schwarbers, the Wilson Contrerases. And it's crazy that out of all of those, really only Schwarber and Contreras kind of lived out that. But let me talk a little bit about the Cubs offense. And these are some crazy stats just through the first 12 games. They had 52 runs in the first 12 games, averaging 8.67 runs per game. Just one starter they faced this year has produced a quality start, and only 2 out of the 12 starters have gone past the 6th inning, with 9 of them throwing 75 pitches or more. So that means they're getting to them early, making them throw a lot. And the Cubs have scored the most runs in Major League Baseball, which was 77. They have the most RBIs with 74 and third most home runs with 17. So it's early, but those bats have been hot since they got back from Tokyo. I'm excited to see if they could sustain this. Probably not at this level for the entire season, but if we could do that, we're definitely going to probably break that 4-year drought of not making the playoffs. We haven't made it since 2020. And I think, honestly, this is probably the most well put together team we've had in a while. Going to see how the bullpen plays out, at least that middle relief. But this Cubs team, y'all, they seem legit. I don't know how else to say it, but they seem like they might be a real deal. So there's a lot on the horizon. They're playing the Rangers today. Let's take a look at the schedule. They got the Rangers tonight, or today, I guess, whatever you want to say. And then this will be a fun series this weekend. They're going to go up to Los Angeles. So we'll get to see them again against the Dodgers. They're going to get another chance at Sasaki, which will be cool. He beat us out there in Tokyo. He has struggled, I guess you could say, a little bit since coming back home. He still hasn't picked up a win yet. But it'll be fun to see them against the Dodgers, man. I'm excited to watch these Texas games too, because Texas Rangers are very good. And we got to see if this offense could stay hot. Got to see what happens with some of our pitching, because that's what always makes me nervous. I mean, baseball, we want to talk about offense because that's what these like big teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers do, but it always comes back to pitching. Boyd 1-0, 0 ERA. Got to see if they could keep it up, though, man. I mean, a lot of people picked us to win. I think it's looking likely. And I'm excited to get out to some more games, guys. At least when the weather gets nice. Right now, it's freezing. I don't even want to go back out there. It's brutal to be out there in that type of environment. You're cold. I'll probably go back, though. I'm stunning. Let's take a look at some of this pitching, too, though, man. Justin Steele out with the 3 wins already, but Shota Imanaga, man, 0.98 ERA. This dude has been nothing but legit since he got to the Cubs, basically. What, second year this year? And dude is last year 15-3 with a 2.91 ERA. And right now he's 2-0 with a 0.9 ERA. So already a star in Chicago. I mean, I think he's only going to get bigger. And I love how he plays too. Like, he's excited. He gets into the game. A lot of the Japanese players, they're all a little bit more stoic. They don't show as much emotion all the time, but this dude gets geeked up there. He gets fired up, and everybody at Wrigley loves him. Everybody in Chicago loves him. And I think his like allure, his fame, everything like that is going to keep going up, man. 31 years old. Dang, he's actually 6 days younger than me. Shota, come on, man. We got to put a little birthday party together. 9/21/93 Shota. We'll put together a 32 party for this year. But right now, 2-0, so tied for third. 0.98 ERA, 10th. And he's been dealing. I mean, these are good teams. Like, we're not playing bad teams. So against not the Dodgers, against the Padres the other night, only gave up 1 run, 7 innings. Against the Diamondbacks, who won the World Series 2 years ago, gave up 3, 7 innings. Only one that was kind of sus was obviously the loss in Los Angeles, but that's a different circumstance. I mean, he's back at home in Japan, probably felt the pressure, and that Dodgers lineup to be the first team you face it's pretty wild. But even then, man, the Dodgers also, they've kind of slowed down a little bit. Why did I click NBA? Let's take a look here before I wrap up the video. Let's just look at the standings real quick. And if you're still here, man, I love it. I appreciate it. But make sure you get on there, man. Smash that like button. Drop a comment. Smash the subscription button. I need you guys to go crazy on that subscription button, y'all. We got to get to 200 subs. But right now, everybody, it's early. Sox struggling. Chicago 8-5, 7-2. Dodgers, one of my boys was like, Dodgers are probably never going to lose a game this season. They've actually lost 2 in a row, and now they lost 3. And this division is absolutely stacked. The Padres, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, Rockies, let's not count them in there, but those top 4 teams are loaded. But more importantly, you got the Cubbies here. Brewers are back to 500. Cardinals 4-6. It's pretty much, I would say, like a 2-man race. You got the Cubs, you got the Brewers, and that's probably how it's going to go. Brewers obviously not so hot right now. Cubs plus 28 run differential. So, like I said, that offense right now is humming and clicking on all cylinders. So they're tuning it up. 7-3 in the last way, 3-3 at home. So hopefully we change that. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, do those games count as away or home? I think they count as. I'm almost certain that the games from Japan, we were the home team. So we probably get those against us, which is weird, but they're against us. Let's see real quick. Cubs. Schedule. Yeah, so those were. No, actually, they didn't count those against us. Oh, no, they did. 1, 2, 3. So 2 of our home losses were 3-3 at home, but 2 of those home losses were technically in Tokyo. We were just the home team. They've been holding it down at home. I mean, not bad at all on the road either. Cubs right now, if you're not on the bandwagon for this season, you better get on early, guys. 13 games into the year. I think we're going to make the playoffs, whether that's because we're really good or because we're good and the division's not great. I'll take it either way. I like the core that we're building. I hope that we could get Kyle Tucker signed, get him a contract extension. Probably not likely. Who knows if the Cubs are going to give him money, but we'll see how that goes. But guys, let's just wrap it up here. I don't want to waste more time. Cubs are first in the NL Central. Offense is absolutely on fire, scoring the most runs right now in the MLB. And jump on the bandwagon, guys. You have to get on the bandwagon. I got to confirm that stat. I'm just saying things like that. Let's see. All right, so here we go. Well, Cubs offense right now, y'all, absolutely on a tear. They're fourth right now in all of the MLB with home runs with 17. They're first with 81 runs batted in. They're first with 114 hits, and they're first with 21 stolen bases. So I don't know if the offense can stay this hot for 162 games, but things are looking good for the Cubs on the offensive side. Pitching hasn't had to do much because we're hitting so well, but I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes. 8-5 right now, plus 28 run differential, number 1 in the MLB in all these different categories. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm excited for this Cubs season. Obviously, our offense knows what they're doing, but if we could do half of this the rest of the year, we'll be in a good spot to win the NL Central. But let me wrap it up, y'all. We're talking Chicago Cubs, obviously, today. Cubs first in the NL Central. Kyle Tucker contract extension, not looking good based on some comments that he made. And I don't even know if I went into that real quick. Let's finish with that I didn't even talk about that part. Kyle Tucker, y'all, they asked him about contract extension. So if you don't know, the Cubs traded for Kyle Tucker this offseason, but he's a free agent at the end of the year, so he's due up for that contract extension. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he signed a 14-year, $500 million extension with the Blue Jays. So obviously that brought all the attention to Kyle Tucker. And this is what he said. So it doesn't look good for us in terms of getting an extension, which is probably more team friendly. Tucker said it's what he wanted to do. I'm sure he loves playing in Toronto. That's great for him. Everybody's a little different. And this is the scary part. Right now, I'm here to play this year and play for the Cubs. We'll see where everything goes after that. So Kyle Tucker, a little grim response there on what his contract extension thoughts are. So he's probably going to hit free agency. Not looking good on the Cubs throwing him that big bag. We'll see how it goes. I mean, if he could take us to a World Series, maybe they'll throw him a bag. Even then, I don't know if it's likely. This ownership group, for some reason, is on a cheap spree where they don't want to spend money, even though we're one of the top earning MLB teams across the country in the whole league. So Kyle Tucker is looking a little bit scary, y'all. Let me know what you think, man. We have to sign him. I don't know if they will, but it doesn't sound like he's dead set on Chicago. Only 13 games in, though, so we could change his mind. I believe in it. So at Cubs first in the NL Central, Cubs, Kyle Tucker contract extension, not looking good, but he is humming on offense. Cubs offense is going crazy. Drop a comment, hit the like button, Kyle Tucker that sub button, and just crack one out of the ballpark. Smash, 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 smash. Home run button. Subscribe right now, y'all. But thanks for coming through. We going crazy. Never lazy. Entertainment. I gotta go.